Betrayal in relationships is one of the most deeply painful experiences one can endure. Whether in the context of love, friendship, or family, betrayal cuts to the heart of human connection, leaving scars that can take years to heal. From a psychological perspective, betrayal shatters the sense of security and trust that individuals place in those closest to them. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on accepting the uncontrollable and focusing on one's internal resilience, offers a contrasting approach to recognize the inevitable nature of betrayal and to master how we respond to it. The truth is, betrayal is not something anyone is immune to. It is an unfortunate but universal part of the human experience. Most people will, at some point, find themselves betrayed by someone they once trusted, and the aftermath of this experience often leaves one questioning not just the person who betrayed them, but their own ability to trust and love again. Trust is the cornerstone of all meaningful relationships, whether in friendships, romantic bonds, or familial ties. It is built slowly, piece by piece, over time, through shared experiences, mutual understanding, and a history of reliability. Trust is the invisible thread that ties us to others, a silent promise that, despite our imperfections, we are seen, valued, and protected. Emotional investment in these relationships deepens the trust, and when that trust is nurtured, it grows into something powerful and enduring. We let our guards down, share our vulnerabilities, and allow others to witness our true selves. In love, trust means opening up to another person, while in friendship, it's about knowing someone has your back even in the darkest of times. In family, trust becomes the foundation upon which you expect to build a lifetime of shared memories. This emotional investment is not one-sided. It demands vulnerability and effort from both parties. Trust isn't simply a foundation of connection, but a language all its own, an unspoken agreement that strengthens with each interaction and that can be fragile when tested by betrayal. When betrayal occurs, the emotional impact is immediate and overwhelming. At first, there is confusion. It feels like being hit with a wave, unsure of where to catch your breath. You want to deny it, dismiss it, or hope that it's all just a misunderstanding. But then comes the anger, a fire that burns through your core, fueled by the realization that someone you trusted has intentionally hurt you. In those early moments, betrayal feels like a personal attack on your emotional self. It's not just the loss of someone's loyalty, it's the violation of your inner sense of worth and security. Psychologically, the effects of betrayal are profound. There's a disorienting mixture of grief, disbelief, and self-doubt. How could someone you trusted do this to you? What did you miss? What did you fail to see? These questions echo in your mind, creating an overwhelming sense of isolation. It's as if the person you were, the one who trusted, is no longer recognizable. The grief is not simply about losing a person, it's about losing a version of yourself. You question your own judgment and self-worth, wondering if you're worthy of genuine love or care. That emotional wound can fester into self-doubt and a deep sense of inadequacy, leaving you lost and fragile. The pain of betrayal doesn't just scar the relationship, it challenges your belief in the goodness of others, in the idea that connection and trust can be pure. It's a loss that takes time to process and even more time to recover from. Carl Jung, one of the most influential figures in psychology, proposed the concept of projection as a fundamental mechanism in relationships. Projection occurs when individuals place their own unconscious desires, fears, or expectations onto others, often without realizing it. This can include projecting an idealized version of ourselves, a fantasy of what we hope the other person could be, or the emotional needs we have not yet addressed within ourselves. In relationships, this often takes the form of expecting others to fulfill our emotional needs or validate our self-worth, even when they may not have the ability or intention to do so. When betrayal occurs, it often feels like a violent clash between the reality of someone's actions and the ideals we have projected onto them. We might believe that a friend, partner, or family member would never hurt us, that they would always be there for us, or that they have the same values and sense of loyalty that we do. When they betray us, it shatters not just the relationship, but the version of that person we held in our minds. The pain of betrayal is not only the loss of trust, but also the loss of the illusion we built around them. We are confronted with the disorienting realization that our projections were not only wrong, but that they blinded us to the person's true nature or intentions. Understanding this concept of projection can help us make sense of betrayal. By recognizing that we often create illusions of others to fulfill our emotional needs, we can begin to detach from unrealistic expectations and approach relationships with a clearer, more grounded perspective. It doesn't erase the pain of betrayal, but it offers an avenue for healing by encouraging self-awareness and a more balanced view of others. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded in Greece, offers profound insights into emotional resilience, particularly in the face of betrayal. At its core, Stoicism teaches the importance of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. In the context of betrayal, we cannot control the actions of others, nor can we prevent someone from hurting us. However, we can control how we respond to the betrayal and how we allow it to shape us emotionally. Key Stoic principles include the mastery of one's emotions, the understanding of impermanence, and the acceptance that life will inevitably present challenges, including betrayal. According to Stoicism, emotional distress arises when we expect life to conform to our desires or ideals. By accepting that betrayal is a potential part of human interaction and recognizing that our emotional reactions are within our control, we gain the ability to process betrayal with greater calmness and clarity. One of the central figures in Stoic philosophy, Epictetus, emphasized the importance of accepting what is beyond our control and focusing only on our own thoughts and behaviors. In the case of betrayal, this means acknowledging the pain but not allowing it to define our self-worth or lead us into destructive emotional patterns. Practicing this form of emotional resilience involves recognizing that while we cannot change the actions of others, we can choose to respond with wisdom, grace, and a commitment to our own inner peace. Stoicism also advocates for the cultivation of mental fortitude by preparing ourselves for the inevitability of hardship. Betrayal, like many challenges, is a part of life. By mentally preparing for the possibility of betrayal, we can face it with more emotional strength, accept it as part of our journey, and not allow it to rob us of our tranquility or self-respect. Emotional investment is a natural and necessary aspect of relationships. When we open ourselves to others, we share our vulnerabilities, hopes, and desires, creating bonds that can be both enriching and rewarding. In love, friendship, and family, emotional investment allows us to feel deeply connected and understood. It fosters intimacy, trust, and shared experiences that are essential to human fulfillment. Through this investment, we build a sense of security and belonging, knowing that someone else is emotionally committed to us as we are to them. However, emotional investment is also a double-edged sword. The deeper we invest emotionally in others, the greater the potential for pain if that investment is not reciprocated, or worse, betrayed. The vulnerability that we expose in relationships opens us to the possibility of being hurt. We place our emotional well-being in the hands of others, hoping they will handle it with care. But we cannot always control the actions or responses of those we trust. One of the greatest dangers of emotional investment is becoming overly reliant on others for validation. When we place too much of our self-worth in the hands of others, we risk losing a sense of personal identity. If the other person fails to meet our emotional needs or betrays our trust, it can cause a collapse of our sense of self. The pain of betrayal, in this case, becomes not only the loss of the relationship, but the erosion of our own confidence and stability. Ultimately, while emotional investment is crucial for meaningful relationships, it's important to strike a balance. We must learn to invest emotionally without allowing ourselves to become completely dependent on others for validation. By cultivating self-awareness, setting healthy boundaries, and nurturing our own emotional well-being, we can protect ourselves from the inherent risks of emotional investment and create stronger, more resilient connections. Betrayal is often preceded by subtle signs that we may not initially recognize. In relationships, these early warning signals can be critical in helping us protect ourselves from future pain. Being aware of changes in behavior, even small ones, is one of the most effective ways to identify potential betrayal. One of the most noticeable signs is withdrawal. If a friend, partner, or family member starts to pull away emotionally or physically, it can indicate that their feelings are shifting, or they may be involved in something that compromises the relationship. This emotional distance can be subtle at first, brief periods of silence or less frequent communication, but it's important to pay attention to these shifts. Another red flag is inconsistencies between words and actions. People who are preparing to betray you often act in ways that contradict their promises, words, or previous behavior. They may say one thing but do another, and this inconsistency can create a sense of confusion or doubt. For example, someone might assure you of their loyalty or love while simultaneously behaving in ways that undermine that very claim. These contradictions often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life, but they are clear indications that something is amiss. Hidden motives are also a key indicator of potential betrayal. If someone starts acting in ways that seem overly self-serving or secretive, or if their behavior feels disingenuous, it may be a sign they are hiding something. This could manifest as avoiding certain topics, being defensive when questioned, or acting overly guarded about their intentions. Awareness of these subtle signs is crucial because it gives us the opportunity to assess the situation early and make decisions before the betrayal takes root. Trusting your instincts, asking the right questions, and observing behaviors carefully can all protect you from being blindsided by a betrayal. By being attuned to the changes around you, you can safeguard your emotional well-being and address potential issues before they escalate. Setting clear boundaries in relationships is essential for maintaining emotional well-being. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where one person ends and another begins. They communicate our needs, expectations, and limits, ensuring that we are treated with respect and that our emotional space is not violated. In the context of betrayal, boundaries serve as a protective mechanism, helping us maintain a sense of self and security in our relationships. From a Stoic perspective, boundaries are vital because they reflect an understanding of what we can control, our own behavior and responses. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our reactions and the limits we set. By clearly defining our personal boundaries, we assert our emotional rights and protect ourselves from harm. This aligns with the Stoic principle of self-mastery, where we focus on preserving our peace of mind and emotional stability, regardless of external circumstances. Using Stoic principles, boundaries become an expression of inner strength and clarity. When we set boundaries, we're not reacting in anger or fear, but rather acting with purpose and wisdom. This is essential in preventing betrayal, as boundaries allow us to gauge whether someone respects our limits or disregards them. If someone crosses a boundary, it can be an indication of their true intentions or lack of respect for us. Additionally, boundaries can reveal the true character of others. Those who respect our boundaries show that they value and care for us, while those who repeatedly violate them reveal themselves to be untrustworthy. Setting and enforcing boundaries can be a powerful tool for ensuring that our relationships are grounded in mutual respect and understanding. Effective communication is essential in preventing or addressing betrayal, but it requires balance and tact. Open communication can foster understanding, ensure that expectations are clear, and prevent misunderstandings that might lead to hurt feelings or betrayal. Being able to express concerns, doubts, or discomforts openly with others allows both parties to address issues before they escalate into serious problems. Honest conversations can clear the air, set the stage for resolution, and offer the opportunity to strengthen the relationship through mutual understanding. However, confronting problematic behaviors requires a delicate approach. Sometimes, the signs of betrayal are subtle, and addressing them too quickly can risk creating unnecessary conflict. There are moments when it's wise to let go of certain grievances, particularly if they don't pose an immediate threat to the integrity of the relationship. Confrontation should not be a reaction to every inconsistency or emotional stir. Sometimes, it's better to reflect and choose the right moment for a calm, thoughtful discussion. The Stoic approach to confrontation involves maintaining emotional equilibrium. In the heat of a betrayal, it's easy to react with anger, hurt, or despair. But Stoicism encourages us to pause, reflect, and approach the situation with clarity and composure. By mastering our emotions, we prevent them from clouding our judgment and response. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather allowing ourselves to feel without letting those emotions drive us to impulsive actions. Effective communication and stoic emotional control can also help us maintain healthy boundaries. Confronting someone who has betrayed us or showing them where they have overstepped requires self-discipline and the ability to speak with calm authority. By doing so, we not only address the issue at hand, but also reaffirm our personal boundaries and expectations, ensuring that we are not caught off guard in the future. One of the most important strategies for coping with the emotional aftermath of betrayal is having a strong network of support beyond any single individual relationship. Betrayal can leave us feeling isolated, questioning our ability to trust others, and overwhelmed by negative emotions. Having a diverse set of relationships, friends, family, colleagues, and mentors can serve as a buffer against the fallout. These connections offer different perspectives, emotional support, and practical advice that can help us regain our emotional footing. A wide support network ensures that no one person carries the entire weight of our emotional needs, which can be crucial in moments of deep vulnerability. Moreover, these varied relationships help to remind us that not all people will betray us, and that many individuals can offer genuine care and loyalty. By leaning on these different connections, we avoid over-relying on one person to meet all our emotional needs. Beyond just the practical support of friends and family, these external relationships provide us with different models of healthy connection, allowing us to see the positive aspects of human interactions even in the wake of betrayal. In addition to external support, self-reflection plays a critical role in building emotional resilience. Through introspection, we can better understand our own emotional reactions, discover patterns in our relationships, and develop the tools to navigate future challenges. Combining this internal work with the care and perspective offered by a robust support network creates a powerful foundation for emotional resilience and recovery after betrayal. The process of healing after betrayal is rarely linear. It requires patience, self-compassion, and time. First, it's important to give ourselves permission to feel the pain, anger, and grief that come with being betrayed. These emotions are natural and valid, and suppressing them can prolong the healing process. However, healing also involves reassessing our values and expectations in relationships. Betrayal can serve as an opportunity to reflect on what we truly need from others, what we value most in connection, trust, and loyalty, and adjust our expectations accordingly. This self-reflection is crucial to rebuilding not only our trust in others, but also our trust in ourselves. In addition to re-evaluating our needs, betrayal offers an opportunity for emotional growth and self-awareness. By examining how we responded to the betrayal, we can uncover underlying insecurities or past wounds that may have contributed to our vulnerability. This understanding helps us develop a deeper sense of emotional maturity and resilience. Rather than viewing betrayal as a failure, we can embrace it as a lesson in our journey of growth. Ultimately, healing can lead to stronger, wiser relationships. Once the wounds have been processed and we have learned to protect our boundaries and manage our expectations, we are better equipped to form connections that are rooted in mutual respect and emotional intelligence. These healed relationships often have a deeper sense of understanding and trust, cultivated through the lessons learned from past betrayal. While betrayal can initially feel like a devastating blow, it can also serve as an opportunity for empowerment. By reframing betrayal, we transform it from an event that diminishes us into one that strengthens us. Betrayal can act as a mirror, reflecting back not just the flaws or actions of others, but also our own emotional responses and vulnerabilities. Understanding why we feel hurt, betrayed, or confused allows us to learn more about our emotional landscape and human nature in general. Empowerment comes from using betrayal as a springboard for personal growth. Instead of letting it define us as victims, we can turn it into a chance to build emotional strength and resilience. Through understanding our reactions, whether fear, sadness, or anger, we gain a deeper awareness of ourselves. This self-awareness prevents us from becoming embittered or reactive when faced with future challenges. Instead of approaching future relationships with mistrust or defensiveness, we can engage with others from a place of strength, knowing that our emotional well-being is not entirely dependent on external validation. By embracing betrayal as an opportunity to deepen our emotional intelligence, we allow ourselves to emerge from it, not only with a sense of closure, but with newfound power and wisdom. Rather than allowing betrayal to break us, we use it to strengthen the foundation upon which we build our future relationships. Betrayal, while one of the most painful experiences in life, offers valuable lessons in emotional resilience and self-awareness. We've explored how trust forms the foundation of meaningful relationships, and how betrayal can force us to confront the gap between our projections and the reality of others' actions. Carl Jung's insights into projection help us understand how we often place our hopes and ideals onto others, and how betrayal can be a painful clash between these illusions and reality. Similarly, Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of recognizing what is within our control, our emotional responses, and how to cultivate resilience by accepting that pain and betrayal are inevitable aspects of life. Ultimately, the path to healing after betrayal lies in emotional resilience. By setting boundaries, fostering supportive networks, and reflecting on our values and needs, we can turn the pain of betrayal into an opportunity for growth. The process of healing is not about avoiding emotional pain, but learning how to embrace vulnerability and transform that pain into strength. Betrayal, when faced with self-awareness and emotional wisdom, can deepen our understanding of ourselves and our relationships, leaving us more capable of building stronger, wiser connections in the future. The journey of emotional resilience is not about avoiding pain, it's about growing from it. Our strength lies not in the absence of vulnerability, but in our ability to rise, reflect, and evolve through the challenges life presents.